I don't know about you, but this is the Fire Emblem. Like, this and Radiant Dawn and, like, Three Houses now are the Fire Emblem games that I'm, like, passionate about, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, they're all three of those are my top 5.
Yeah.
I'm actually a little bigger fan of Path of Radiance, or no, of Radiant Dawn than I am of Path of Radiance.
Interesting.
But only because I think like it's just more awesome. Like Path of Radiance is a really nice like start introduction, and it's way more like, you know, grounded.
Yeah.
But Radiant Dawn just goes nuts, and I love it for that.
Yeah. Radiant Dawn is its own interesting beast that I'm sure we'll have to
Yeah.
talk about. You actually did play Radiant Dawn first.
I did. As a young kid, my Nintendo Wii, I just saw it there at the store and I bought it. Back in the day when, you know, you didn't have the internet at all for anything.
Right.
Except, like, GameFAQs. So I played it and I was even more confused than I should have been.
Now, were you an Omega Chad who played on normal, which is actually hard?
Yes. And
Whoa.
it was a fun time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, when I got through the... We're going to talk about Radiant Dawn now, or...
I mean, I guess so.
Yeah, no, yeah, like, I lost, like... Man, it took me forever to beat the Dawn Grade part, because that shit was insane.
Oh, yeah. Like, I'll have to tell my own Radiant Dawn story when we get to it, but...
we can go to that.
Yeah. No, let's stick to Path of Radiance for now, because Radiant Dawn is its own 15-hour-long discussion.
Mm-hmm. Let's just post that in the other one we do, alright? We'll just cut that.
Sure.
Yeah, so talk about your Path of Radiance experience. Oh, I got one thing I gotta ask you.
Yes, absolutely.
From right in the beginning, which I did not encounter when I first played the game, but when I replayed it recently, as in like 4 days ago, I found like one of the only glitches that I looked up.
The one with the swords, correct?
The Four Swords Adventure. Yes.
Yeah, that happened to me. I think it has something to do apparently with some interaction in the tutorial.
Yeah, if you skip a certain thing, like if you skip a certain thing, it says it'll just give Ike 4 swords.
Yeah, it's really
4
weird.
iron swords.
Like I don't even understand how that happens.
It's only in the North American version.
Huh.
The Japanese and the PAL version do not have that.
That's weird.
Yeah.
It's helpful though. Get 4 more free swords.
Yep, but speaking of glitches though, the Japanese version has it's another unique glitch.
Mm-hmm.
Only the Japan version. And that one is way more useful because it's a forging glitch. Which is this weird glitch where if you take a weapon that has a crit rate that's not 0, and then you reforge it to have 0 crit rate, it basically scales back over and jumps to 255 crit.
Oh, so it underflows.
Yeah. So you take like a slim lance or like a any kind of sword that has a crit rate, and you just have infinite crit on that sword.
Nice.
All right, so I'm glad you also got the 4 swords glitch, because I was really confused until I looked it up.
Yeah. So my kind of experience with Path of Radiance is like beforehand I had played Awakening, Sacred Stones, and Fate's Birthright. My mom decided to deliver Funny Face to me.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Let him say hi.
Funny Face, come on.
Which one's Funny Face?
Funny Face is the gray one, the big one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello, Funny. Are you a Lagoose?
Please get the subhuman out of the room now.
Yeah, come on, Subhuman. Right, so, I had played those 3, and Path of Radiance was like a game I had always wanted to play, and I just had it like sitting around on my computer forever. And one day I was just like, yeah, fuck it, I have this Path of Radiance thing, let's give it a try. And I started playing it like that, like the beginning of December of 2018, and I actually finished it New Year's night of like when it turned to 2019. So finishing Path of Radiance was basically how I started the year.
So you think it's a pretty good game?
Yeah, it's a pretty good game. I'd say it's not only one of my... It is my favorite Fire Emblem, but it's also one of my favorite games just in general.
Yeah, Path of Radiance... Yeah, that was a game that I played later in my Fire Emblem career. Like, you know, I played Radiant Dawn, all the GBA ones, and I think I played Shadow Dragon before it. And I just found it one day lying at my like local game store for like $25, which... Yeah, a lot of people are probably jealous of that, but yeah, that explains how late I bought it, because it wasn't really that expensive, like that much more expensive at that time. And then it kind of completed the picture for me on how Radiant Dawn was. And it made me respect the Grail mercenaries, like the OG Grail mercenaries, a lot more.
I love the Grail mercenaries.
They don't get that much in Radiant Dawn.
Yeah, I mean, like, we're already talking about Radiant Dawn, but one problem I think Radiant Dawn has is just, like, there's so many characters, it's really hard for any of those guys to really have, like, moments to shine on their own.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But whereas in Path of Radiance, it's a much more compact roster, and everybody feels like they kind of have their place.
Yeah, although I still stand by the Tellius games. I don't actually think like the characters, like the overall characters, are the best, but I love the actual like world.
Yes,
and,
definitely.
And
I think
plot.
Like out of the ones I've played, at least Tellius is the setting that like I gave the most of a shit about.
Yeah, and it's not a very like complex setting. I mean, you got like 3 real human nations and basically like 3 or 4, beast or Laguz nations.
Yeah.
And that's it. And then you got a goddess and you got this other stuff that's thrown in, but it's a relatively simple world.
Like when it comes to Tellius, like pretty much any other Fire Emblem game, with the exception of like 3 houses, I don't remember the names of any of these locations really or give a shit. Like, I know that like in fucking like Binding Blade and Fire Emblem 7, like Burn is the big bad nation, and like Grotto was the big bad nation in Sacred Stones. Like I can remember that, but it's all the other extraneous places that I'm like that just don't like I don't remember them, and it's hard to remember like what the cultures of these places are like. Whereas with Tellius, like I know pretty well all of these nations, and I can tell you at least a little bit about like their culture and the people.
Yeah, and I think that's the best part about it is how simple it is with how they and especially Path of Radiance, because they kind of introduce each nation one at a time.
Yeah.
And you kind of do the entire tour along it. You want to go in and talk about some of the nations?
Sure. All right. So we have Crimea, which is my innocent good kingdom, which
did nothing wrong.
Which did nothing wrong and just gets fucked. And like I feel as if Radiant Dawn does a really good job at elaborating like, oh my god, this place is really not a whole lot better than any of these other nations.
Well, Path of Radiance is that to an extent too. I mean, there's a chapter in the border town where you're trying to get a boat.
Yeah.
And Reynold just gets the shit beaten out of him.
Good old chapter 11.
Yeah.
That fucking chapter is incredible. Like, the shit happens with the racist people, and the Black Knight comes out of his house, and Jill is introduced, and you meet Nasir, and it's like, fuck, dude, a lot happens in that chapter.
Yeah, that's definitely like, you are now out of the intro.
Yeah. But yeah, like, Crimea is, I like how the whole game is spent being like, Crimea is a good boy nation, and it wants to get along with Laguz, and really the only people that you ever really interact with are just these scum. They're like, let's stone them to death. I would rather be under the rule of this fucking dictatorship than cooperate with the beast people. Like,
also, I love that chapter too, because there's those, there's the guys that are like level 1 and they're just like the town guard, and they're like, yeah, don't you're not supposed to kill those guys. But there's really no reward.
Yeah, there's no repercussion. If anything, you're supposed to go up there because fucking Zehark is in there. Yeah,
all you get is like, I think I looked this up, 50 bonus experience for each one you don't kill.
Wow.
Yeah. So kill those racist.
Yeah, kill them. And then we have like Dayan, which I would say is probably the most interesting like evil country out of all of them.
Yeah, they got some history to them.
Yeah, Tellius does a really good job of setting up this kind of like the history of the land, and it's fun to just read through the wiki and be like, oh yeah, this place was founded by Senator da-da-da who hated those subhumans. And yeah, it's like a lot of these other games, I don't feel like they've put as much thought into the lore and the world building of like, okay, what is the history of this place? Whereas Tellius feels a lot more like there has been a natural evolution of this continent throughout like the past 1,000 years.
Yeah, like I was reading I actually think it was Lethia and Jill's sport conversation where Leith.
Yeah, apparently it's pronounced Leith, but I still just say Lethe.
Yeah, so Lethe and Jill's conversation, I think like Lethe talks about like the history of the Benyans. About like how like the Laguz and humans actually used to live there together.
Yeah.
And they actually had like rulers that were basically like just kind of determined. She made it sound like as it was determined through like world of strength, basically. And then that shit happened, and the Laguz got slaved.
They got slave out. Dude, this game makes Radiant Dawn especially, but the senators in Tellius are some of the worst fucking people. Like,
dude, don't diss my boy Oliver.
Okay, Oliver is pretty good.
Dude, he's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the chapter where you like hunt him down in the forest.
Oh my god, that goes on forever.
That chapter is awesome. It's fucking 4 parts.
It is.
And you cannot restock your items
on
your main guys. All you can do is bring in more reinforcements. So like, man, I was playing through that and like all my weapons were breaking. I had I kept calling him more Lagoose because I needed like people that wouldn't have breaking weapons.
You need a caravan to come with some fucking weapons.
I literally on the 4th stage, I brought Titania and just I had her trade every weapon that everyone had to her. Just started handing it out like a fucking like an armorer. So yeah, Oliver.
Yeah, alright, let's talk about the best character, I guess.
I don't actually have much to say on him except
dude, Oliver's great.
Dude, how does he survive as a senator?
I don't know.
I made the worst fucking decisions.
He's so stupid. Like, I don't know what this is about. I feel like ever since the Ides of March, humanity has just had this dislike of the concept of senators. Like,
well, yeah, and then Benyon is like they're actually like a theocracy, which is fucking weird.
Yeah,
and it's kind of code for Fire Emblem, like that they're a really evil nation because God is bad in Fire Emblem.
Yes, God is always bad. Always.
Which is weird because the one person in Benyon that's good is the one that's chosen by God, apparently.
Yeah. Yeah, Benyon is a fucking mess. Like, I remember the first time I went through Path of Radiance just being so annoyed at the existence of Benyon and, like, how fucked it is. It's like everything wrong with human society just kind of put together into one location.
Oh, so what was your take on the ruler?
Oh, Sanaki. I actually do like Sanaki as a character a lot.
Okay. Even Path of Radiance Sanaki?
Yes, actually.
She's kind of a little shit.
Kind of a little shit, but I don't know. I think that the good head on her shoulders kind of makes up for it.
Yeah, definitely.
Because she is like a pretty well-written child character. Like,
oh yeah.
No, like Path of Radiance, Tellius in general does have these pretty good like kid characters.
She's a fucking schemer, man.
Yeah.
She just like uses Ike to weed out the like corruption in her nation.
Yeah, without having to do anything herself, really. Yeah, there's like Benyon is just an evil, insufferable place. Dayan is like racist and horrible, but also like a lot of that is Ashnard's fault. And then there's like go ahead.
It's pretty much almost all his fault.
Yeah, I mean, like Dayan does have a deeply seated racism problem ever since it was started, apparently. But you know, Ashnard's not doing him any favors. Like, when I went through it, I never really got the impression that Ashnard was like, oh, those subhumans. I think Ashnard just has a disdain for all life.
Well, yeah, I mean, he wants to call the Dark Goddess who's just gonna sink the continent.
Yeah.
It's like, well, we don't survive. We weren't strong enough.
Yeah, idiot.
Get stronger.
And then there's, like, the Laguz nations. There's Gallia, and then Phoenixes. And then my favorite has got to be fucking Kilvas.
Oh my god.
Kilvas is so bad.
All right, we're gonna talk Laguz Kings because those are actually basically my favorite fucking people.
All the Laguz Kings are awesome.
Yeah, that's actually why I like Radiant Dawn. Is because they get to do so much more badass shit there. Yeah. But definitely. So is Nasalia? Is he your favorite? Is the bitch king your favorite?
He's at least in my top 5.
No, I mean the favorite of the Laguz Kings.
Oh, of the Laguz Kings. Yeah, definitely. Like, I like Tibarn a lot, but I think Nysala's scummery just barely edges him out.
Yeah, I always saw him and like you stack him up to all the other kings and he is the bitch king. Like, he's strong, but like everyone else is just like this crazy badass and he's like, I'm just gonna scheme around.
Yeah, he's more of a schemer.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they're all great though.
Oh yeah.
The only one that like, kind of whatever is the dragon one, Dignicia, because he doesn't really do anything besides not want the world to die.
Yeah. See, I like Dignicia because in Path of Radiance, he's only there for that one chapter when you see him, and he basically delivers the entire message of the game, which is stop fighting fucking wars.
Yeah, and that cutscene where they all like meet in, that shit was awesome.
That was awesome.
where they all like ride in and transform. That looked good. Like even now, I'm like, oh, that cutscene looked pretty damn good.
Yeah, the way they morph is really cool. Even if the whole thing with the clothes is like a little weird.
The morph in their clothes.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, it's just how it goes. Lagoos. That's how Lagoos royalty works.
Mm-hmm.
That's made me start thinking about the god awful voice acting though.
Yeah, oh, it's really bad. It's really, really not good.
Man. Especially in the beginning, man.
Oh yeah.
Pour one out for Grail, not because he died, but because his voice acting.
Because he had that voice, yeah. I mean, the voice of Ike actually stuck with him for years and years. I think he did him up until like Smash 4. And I know for a fact he's a different guy in Smash Ultimate, and in Heroes I think he's a different guy. But I know he was him from like Brawl and up.
See, I always thought the Radiant Dawn cutscenes had like fine voice acting.
Yeah. Like the scene with like Zeljus and like Tabarn and all that comes to mind. That scene's fine.
Yeah.
It's just Path of Radiance is a little goofy.
I mean, that's the first time, they tried doing cutscenes in their Fire Emblem games, voice acting. True. First, I mean, technically it's like the first 3D Fire Emblem game.
But yeah, Tellius is great. Definitely my favorite, like, continent in Fire Emblem. And easily. Like, even though Path of Radiance is really good, I really think that the addition of Radiant Dawn is like, that's what really solidifies it, because that's when it goes to shit.
Yeah, I feel like they made Path of Radiance like knowing they were gonna make a sequel.
Oh, definitely. Like this game has so many unanswered questions and just little shit to be expanded upon.
Yeah, I get confused sometimes on like which game was which, especially because I played them out of order.
Right.
Because there's so many things that are like kind of melded together.
Yeah, it really is difficult to talk about one without the other. They're not like two separate games. They really are like two halves of one whole.
Especially the whole like medallion stuff.
Yeah.
My favorite thing is actually I think it's kind of like silly is the way they do bonus damage stuff. Where like you have a mage with a wind tomb, which is supposed to do bonus damage to a to a bird or like a Pegasus or anything that's like that. But the way bonus damage works is it just doubles the might of the actual weapon, and wind tombs have a might of 2.
Right.
And a thunder tomb has a might of 4.
Yeah, so it's a bit of a difference.
So it literally does the same damage to something it's supposed to be strong against.
Yeah. And
it's just using another type of magic. Yeah, it's the first game that came with that brought more magic stuff to the table. Animal's got its own weapon triangle within it. But then they also just kind of got rid of light and dark magic. Like it's in the game, but there's like
it's very limited.
There's like one unit that I heard has it, but no one actually uses them because his name is Rice and he doesn't actually get any defense.
Yeah.
And you just use Mist anyway.
I mean, I used him my first playthrough only because I was like afraid to let Mist on the battlefield.
I try to use him, but then there's so many other characters I want to use over him. Yeah. But this game has my absolute favorite thing that's and it's not just a skill like it is in the other ones where it just basically everyone can do it if you're big enough. And I feel like I have kind of like a weird like mental issue in how much I actually do it, even to the point where I like sacrifice units, and it's a shove mechanic.
Oh yeah. See, I never really got a whole lot of use out of it other than the occasional moment where I'm like fighting a boss and I need to get somebody the fuck out of the way.
Dude, I've shoved Mist into so many like attacks.
Shoved her into attacks?
Just because I want to shove people. Oh god, when I bust out what's the first beast lose you get?
You get Lethe and Mordecai first.
Mordecai, he has smite, which is
just bam.
Oh my god, I love shoving so much. Not even for a strategic point of view, it's just really entertaining. Shove people.
I like the sound effect it makes.
Yeah, it's so great. And I guess there's also like it's really useful for repositioning and
definitely,
and making someone move 10 spaces a turn by just doing a shove train.
Yeah, and then there's Biorhythm, which is like this weird paradox of a mechanic that's really, really intricate, but also it doesn't particularly matter.
Oh man. I'm not feeling so good right now. I think I'm just gonna go die.
Yeah, I guess I'll die. Guess I'll miss.
It does actually have like it has an impact that I feel really matters if you use dodgy characters. Because I think it really only affects like avoid and hit for the
Yeah, it does. It doesn't affect
significantly.
your damage. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and there are even skills based off of it. Like Boyd has a skill where his biorhythm effect is doubled.
Mm-hmm.
And I used Boyd a bit, and actually his avoid would jump like from like 30, 40 to like 60, depending on how he was feeling. So it did have like some gameplay effect, but it was something like you would never really look at while you're playing.
Yeah, it's also something that you have literally no control over. It's like I don't really like the idea of the mechanic because it's like I have no influence over this.
No, and
Like, it's kind of a cutesy idea to try to incorporate battlefield conditions and people's mindsets and physiology into the equation, but it's also like it's just weird. Like human hearts don't work this way.
yeah, how like is everyone like fucking manic? Like what the hell? Oh man, fucking turn 1, I was feeling like hot shit. Turn 4, fucking my blood pressure's running real low.
Yeah, man. Oh god.
I mean, I feel like that would only work for like Ileana.
Yeah.
Her biorhythm should have just been like a flatliner.
Poor child.
Oh, I love her. Was there any other gameplay stuff you talked about? Or you
Well,
go
we have
into,
the Laguz units, which are unique to Tellius.
Yeah. I like them.
I do as well. I think they are very fun.
Yeah. You don't really get any like the ones you get in Path of Radiance are really fair in my opinion.
Yeah.
Until the end, but most of the game you get pretty fair Laguzes. Mordecai, Lethe, both fair. The guy that's with Tormund,
Maram,
he's pretty nuts, and he gets that, and he gets the item where you just ignore the mechanic of the game, like the Laguz mechanic.
Yeah.
Which are my favorite because that meter is really annoying to deal with. You don't really get any bird units in Path of Radiance stuff.
You get
not until the end.
You get Ulki and Janaf, but that's only when you're like about to march into Dayan. I think you get those guys. Yeah.
So what's your favorite Laguz?
Oh, my favorite out of all of them is my man Nysala.
Sam, I'm a Tabarn guy. Tabarn. I mostly like him and his crew. He's got his eyes and he's got his ears.
Yeah.
And he just rolls out.
He should have introduced a new guy in Radiant Dawn that was like his mouth or something. It's like
he just like sends messages just like Miles with his fucking he just screeches.
He's just got one for every sense. He's like, where's my nose? Yeah, I guess we can talk about some of the characters. So we both like Ike.
We like Ike.
We like Ike. We like Ike.
Yeah, Ike is awesome. He's only the best non-lord there is.
Absolutely.
He feels like the most realistic, and maybe it's because you get to actually see him grow up and kind of like become a man, and then you see him in Radiant Dawn where he is the man.
Just like a demigod, yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like the entire growth of him is great.
Yeah, like I think part of the thing that makes him so much easier to relate to is that he's just a guy. Like he's not some lord, he's not royalty, he doesn't have like a nation or an army to fall back on. He has to earn all that shit.
Yeah, and it really plays a role into kind of the main themes of because of the Tellius games, and it's not just racism but classism.
Yeah.
Which comes up a lot, especially when he takes a detour over to Benyon land, where he's just like, I can't handle all these nobles.
I can't be doing with this. That scene is awesome when Sanaki and the rest of the senators are just like actually grilling Alencia for no good reason. And he just snaps, and he's like, you are all disgusting people. God, that scene was fucking cathartic. Like,
yeah.
He was 1 second away from getting fucking executed, but it felt good.
Yeah, and there's like a dialogue where he's like, oh man, I can't send all these nobles, but he's like, but wait, there are also good nobles. What?
Yeah, like, Ike is just, he's the best. Like, I think he's the most human-feeling lord. He's, like, something else I like about him is that his power is never given to him. He has to earn everything. And I think, like, I'm already talking about Radiant Dawn again, but I think that's part of why I don't like Micaiah as much, is because she feels more like, here are abilities, you know? Whereas Ike, like, had to hustle and grind to earn that shit. And basically all he has to his name is, like, his father's style, which he was barely taught, because his dad's fucking sword arm was messed up, and also he was an old man who wasn't even trying.
Yeah, and it's really pointed out, like as far as like Ike growing up is him and Alencia's support conversations, especially like the first one where she's like, I can't even tie this thing. He's like, oh, I know how to do this because I've been doing this since I was all young. Yeah, I don't know. Like Ike is just great.
Yeah, he's really good.
He's got like some really good quotes that I wish I had on me.
Yeah. Another thing I like is that Ike is always so down to business about things. Like, a character trait that I really don't like is characters, like, main characters especially, that are all, like, hoity-toity about shit, that have, like, I guess the Naruto approach to life, where it's like, fuck efficiency, let's do what makes my heart feel good, or whatever. Whereas Ike is a lot more like, alright, let's fucking do this. Don't get in my way or I'll kill you.
Alright, Hills, you wanna go, like, the other kind of main character-esque?
Who would that be?
Alencia. I mean, she's kind of like the other main character that's...
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, and she's definitely kind of like the contrast to Ike.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're both good people, but like their lifestyles were like...
very different, yeah.
Yeah, which is where they kind of stand out.
Yeah, I like Alencia. I think something that helps a lot with her sort of appeal and like stops her from feeling like just a damsel in distress is because she never really gets into any bad situations, you know? I feel like in a lesser video game there would be like, Alencia got kidnapped! Like those kinds of incidents, you know?
Right.
But no, I mean, she's pretty much in safe hands the entire fucking game.
Yeah. I mean, she just hires Ike to escort her, and then actually ends up helping fighting in battle.
Yeah, and we got, like, assorted various members of the Grail Mercenaries, and I think, like, out of, like, how do I put this? Any Fire Emblem crew, I guess the Grail Mercenaries are my favorite. Mm-hmm. They're probably my favorite just collection of characters from a thing, like, in Fire Emblem.
Yeah. Do you mean just as far as, like, kind of starting parties?
Yeah, or... like your starting kind of group, I guess.
Yeah, like the shepherds and...
Yeah.
Yeah, and Three House is another really weird one, because you get your entire starting cast introduced right away.
Uh-huh.
So it's hard for me to, like, you know, pick one of those, comparing it to the Grail Mercenaries, because that's, you know, almost the entire cast.
Yeah. I mean, you could pick, like, an individual house.
Yeah, but... Then I don't think the Grail Mercies would stand up to like one of the houses. Because the Grail Mercies, I mean, it's just Titania's great. She's definitely the best, my favorite, like kind of like mentor unit.
She's basically Ike's mom, like,
and Boyd's mom too.
Yeah, she's pretty much everybody's mom.
Their support conversation, I think it's the A one. He's just like, oh yeah, no, you're like my mom.
Yeah, that support is so sweet.
Yeah.
Also, I like how horny she gets in her C support when she's describing, like, Grail when he was fighting in Gallia. She literally says, his swordplay made my body tremble. Like...
I think that could mean other things, you know?
If you say so.
It was just so menacing.
Yeah.
Boyd, Oscar, and Rolf, the boys.
Yeah, the boys.
The brothers.
Did you ever use Rolf?
I use him in Radiant Dawn. He becomes like a fucking...
He's pretty good there. Yeah.
A killer. But no, Path of Radiance, you get him right when you get missed, and there's just not enough bonus experience to go around, man.
Yeah. Like, I'm sure if I just dump bonus experience and stuff into him, he'd be pretty good.
Yeah,
but it's also, like, Astrid is also an option for, like, if you need somebody with a bow.
Yeah, and she gets experience
and Astrid
fast.
Astrid is a god.
It depends on what you mean by god. Oh, dude, my Astrid turned out shit. Almost worse than my Ike.
Wow. That's unfortunate.
She also didn't know what strength meant.
My Astrid's been good, like, both times I played through this.
Yeah, off note, my Ike got even worse. He's level 17 with 9 strength.
Fuck!
And then I got him... level 20, I gave him an energy drop, and his strength was 12.
Awesome. Way to go.
Fucking stupid.
Alright, let's go, Black
Knight. Anyway. Fuck. Missed. Here's the sword. Kill him.
Mist might as well take Ragnar at that fucking point.
Anyway, if I can back to the Grail Boys.
Yeah, Grail Boys.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to disagree. I don't think the Grail is like blows me away. I love the I'll say I love the way that they're actually like really like kind of maybe not integral, but they are. There's a lot of dialogue and there's a lot of like them doing stuff, and like when Grail's around and he has he like sends them off on different missions and whatnot. It's pretty cool.
I wanted to mention,
the introduction.
I actually do like that introduction a lot, because a lot of the time you're kind of just thrown into it. Like, the starting chapter is Big Bag Nation has just invaded. Whereas in Path of Radiance, it takes like 4 or 5 chapters before something happens, So it's nice to have that time to understand like what peace is like for these people.
Mm-hmm. And they do a good job on establishing who's a badass and who's not in the Grail Mercenaries.
Yeah.
There's like a mission where it's like, all right, Boyd, Oscar, Ike, you go over here and do this thing. Titania will babysit you. All right, now Ike, you're gonna go with Gatry and Shinon and Titania, and you're gonna raid this. You're gonna attack these pirates.
Yeah. Yeah, we got Shinon and Gatry, and I actually really like the fact that these guys leave, because it makes it feel like a more natural kind of unit. Because obviously, when their leader dies, there's at least gonna be a few people that are like, I'm out.
Yeah, I mean, after all the shit talking Shinon like did, if he didn't leave, that would have made no sense.
Yeah, you got Shinon and Gatry, and then you got my boy, my absolute man, Soren.
Oh, he's in the Grail Mercenaries?
Yeah, he is. He's the Sasuke of the group. But
he's a Sasuke with more shit to him, though.
Yeah.
I was not a big Soren guy when I played Radiant Dawn. But Path of Radiance made me give him a little more respect.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Soren is a very, like, love him or hate him kind of character, just depending on how much you can vibe with his mentality and mindset towards things. Because he really is a very bitter, like, pessimistic kind of person.
Yeah, and it's like, you kind of think he's like the, the kind of character that's just will do like the harshest thing, but it's always for like the, the good of the state, or in this case, the good of the mercenaries.
Yeah.
But like Soren, he's kind of like a step past, or I don't know, in a weird step where like he tries to be really efficient, but then he's just like really harsh when he shouldn't be. Like in social situations, that almost kind of gets him into shit sometimes.
Yeah,
like where he almost gets his head bit off by the fucking
he calls them subhumans and laughs at them. Haha, typical subhumans.
So he's definitely got his actual character flaws to him.
Oh, for sure, yeah. Like, he's debatably more character flawed than good. Like, but yeah, and the thing about Soren that I really like is you really don't learn a lot about him unless you, like, put up the effort to do so. Like, you gotta do his support to learn that he's branded and all. And it's like, unless you have an interest in giving a shit about Soren, you'll never really learn why he's so racist and why he kind of thinks the way he does about stuff.
Yeah, and then there's, like, actual, like, the actual shit that's on with him. Like, his secret history is, the way to get that is, like, some nonsense. I mean,
that's really asinine. And like
New Game Plus, a bunch of other stuff. Yeah, that's kind of a Fire Emblem thing in general, where a lot of character stuffs are hidden behind like random support conversations that you wouldn't even expect.
There's one between Torneo and Rolf that elaborates the most on Torneo's character of anything in the game.
Yeah, and I haven't seen that one, so if you want to go into that.
Yeah, I mean, basically he, like, sees Rolf, and he has a boomer moment, and he's like, "Are you my son?" and Rolf is like, "Nope." And Tornado's like, "Oh, yeah." And he, throughout the course of it, he starts telling this fucking story about how he tried to push his son into a military career, and then ended up making his son and his wife hate him and leave him, and now he lives in his big mansion with all of his trophies and shit alone. And now he's just like a miserable, unhappy old man. Working for a king that he thinks he's just fucking insane.
Damn. In the A support, did Rolf hit him with the okay boomer?
I don't think he did. Rolf is too kind to do the boomer. Like,
Boyd pokes his head in.
But yeah, Soren's really good. Such a delightful little ball of, like, anger and hate and racism.
Oh, my boy.
Oh, he's totally my boy.
I gotta like him. He's a mage, and I gotta like every mage.
I do too.
Fire Emblem.
I love the grumpy mage boys. That's like my gang.
I like other mage archetypes too, but yeah, it's a really.
Mm-hmm.
And this time they're actually like kind of a minor or like a supporting character. Like he's just outside the main character group.
Mm-hmm.
Which is rare. We actually get to see him talk a lot with his boyfriend Ike.
They're basically boyfriends.
Yeah.
See, I am of the belief that Ike might be asexual. I genuinely do probably think that.
I mean, he doesn't really have a lot of time to learn about this stuff.
Yeah.
He's got a mercenary company.
My dad never
run.
taught me how to fuck.
You know, he couldn't walk in on old mom and dad's.
Yeah,
dead.
What's he gonna do? There's not really any women around except Titania, you know?
And I think she's got to think for his dad.
Yeah.
Damn, Titania's the only female in the crew except Mist.
Yeah. And Mia ends up joining later, but she's like a late recruit.
Yeah, she's not part of the OG cast.
Yeah.
She's the first one to join, though, isn't she?
Yeah. Yeah, Mia's great. I like Mia a lot. She's kind of a simple character, but I really like her for what she is.
I'm looking for a rival. Is that you?
Yeah, you want to fight, little anemic girl?
She fucking did. She challenges Ileana to be a rival.
Yeah.
I think Ileana is like my favorite kind of side character.
Ileana is really funny.
Because her smart conversations, they all make me laugh at least.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're all one note. Like she usually ends up dying at the end of all of them. Or like eating food.
Yeah.
But they're all pretty much entertaining. And despite appearances, she gets so much goddamn strength.
She does. She's strong.
She's really strong.
She's strong. She could destroy Soren in an arm wrestling contest.
Dude, she can hold her books and also Soren's books.
Yeah, and eat. Have like a fucking buffet. And then we got like the two baby children. And Mist is another one of those pretty good like kid characters that never really got on my nerves.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like Rolf's a little annoying, but not too bad.
Yeah, at least he doesn't really talk much.
Yeah.
He doesn't just show up in like the big conversations, just like, oh, I don't think you should do that.
Jeez, like I sound like Morty.
Oh God.
Well, I don't know about this.
Toronto, I think we got. I can't. I don't know any Morty references. What's a Rick and Morty reference?
Pickle Rick.
Oh, Pickle Toronto.
Yeah. Then we have Lethe, whose name is actually pronounced Leith, but like fuck the police.
Fucking subhumans, man.
Yeah, fucking subhumans. Am I
All
right?
their names are insane.
How dare they be different from us?
Can they even read and write?
Can they?
I don't think they can.
I doubt it.
That's why their names are so ridiculous.
Yeah, they just scribble names. They just make sounds, and that's what they name their kids.
The herons do.
Basically.
Yeah. Lethe's like weirdly more like, she feels more prominent in Path of Radiance. Actually, does things.
Yeah, definitely. I like how there's at least one like Legu's character on your side that's just awful. That's just so racist.
Yeah, like she has a lot of like base conversations that I think that I like that kind of throw her into the plot a lot.
Yeah.
Where she talks to Ike about a whole bunch of shit.
Mm-hmm.
Her and Jill are the ones I was surprised about. Like, Jill gets a lot of base conversations where Ike's just like, "Hey, are you leaving? No?
No, alright.
Okay. Hey, you leaving now? We've been on land for a
yeah,
while."
I mean, come on, you're the enemy. I mean, like...
But yeah, I mean, dude, Lethe, she's just Legu's Jill.
Yes, they're basically the same person in reverse.
Same energy.
Yeah.
They're about the same height.
Yeah.
4 foot whatever. Although, like, Jill kind of gets over her racism, like, over time. Lethe, I don't really know if she does.
Yeah, I mean, she, I guess, learns to accept certain people, but by large doesn't like Bjork.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, you know, it's progress.
Can we talk about how human is an insult from Legu's to Bjork's?
Yeah. It's weird because Lethe is like, you don't even consider us human, is that it? And then she's also like, look at those humans.
Yeah,
it's like which one is it?
I always wonder if that's some kind of like lost in translation thing, or
it could be.
It's really weird.
Yeah. I don't know, maybe it's like actually brilliant and it shows the hypocrisy of racism.
Maybe she's just really dumb.
She's probably not that smart.
I think her sister is so much smarter.
Mm.
Oh, wait, she's not in this game.
Yeah. She's mentioned in this game.
Oh, okay.
And I believe it's the support with her and Reynold.
That makes sense.
Yeah, she is mentioned.
Yeah, her sister's, I think Lyrie's got a big old thing for an elf.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Leffe as a character.
Yeah, she's good.
She's part of Ike's learning process.
Mm-hmm.
Because man, Ike doesn't know shit. I'll say that
Ike
much.
is dumb as a pile of fucking rocks.
Like, he's not quite Byleth level, but he's pretty.
Byleth is like retarded.
He's in the ballpark.
Yeah.
Like, Ike at least knows, like, who his dad is.
Who his dad is, which
Like, like,
he knows his right from his left.
Yeah,
and
he just doesn't know, like, the nation he was born in.
Yeah.
Or even what a Laguz is. Well, maybe that's not that far-fetched. I mean, he's only like what? He's probably like 16.
Yeah, I think he's around 16.
So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Byleth, you're like 20 something.
Yeah,
or
he's like a grown up at this point.
Yeah, the other Laguzes, none of them really like the non badasses. Oh, I guess Reynold counts.
I do like Reynold a lot.
Yeah, Reynold is great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and him and Ike get a big old friendship thing going that showed off a lot more Radiant Dawn, but that's because that starts in Path of Radiance.
Mm-hmm.
And I like how like Reynold just kind of laughs off being called a subhuman by
Yeah,
Ike.
he's like, yeah, whatever. You forgive and forget.
Man, he's kind of the big cat badass because there's no real like, badass cat.
Yeah, like all the Laguz lords, like Gifka is a lion, Kainigus is a lion. He's the only cat that's like, whoa.
Yeah, but he's not like, there's no cat king.
Yeah.
there's a Raven King. There's a Hawk King. There's a Dragon King. There's kind of two Beast Kings. No Cat King.
Yep.
They just kind of, play second fiddle to the lion. So he gets his ass handed to him by the Black Knight.
Yeah, he gets fucked up. And then we have like Volk. I really like Volk because he has such a like slimy kind of presence to him.
Who?
Volk, the thief / assassin.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking of yeah, him. What's the wolf from fucking Radiant Dawn called?
Nyla?
No, the subordinate one.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
I thought that was you were saying him for a second.
No.
Yeah, Volk. Yeah, he's an asshole.
He's not that much of an asshole.
Fucking charging 50
I mean,
gold.
50 gold per log doesn't sound that bad. Especially when Ike is like a multi-millionaire in this fucking game.
He gets... Yeah, if Path of Radiance wasn't such a fucking money-loading game, it would be more of an issue, but that game just, like, throws money at you. I mean, Ike actually completes, like, mercenary contracts and gets paid in that game, unlike other games.
Yeah.
Like, he gets money. Although, man, his Volk's fucking price for his, like, 50,000 gold.
50,000 gold.
That's a lot of money.
It's not even a real bill. He just wanted to be able to confirm that he had the money.
Yeah, because he's an asshole.
Imagine going to buy a house and you're like, yeah, here's the 100K, and the guy's like, I just needed to know you had the money.
Isn't that kind of how credit score fucking... Well, anyway, yeah, he's an asshole. But he's way better than fucking Soothe in this game.
Soothe. Yeah.
Soothe is an incompetent child.
He is. He's like, why would you ever use him?
Because your Volk died?
Yeah.
I don't know. Because you don't want to pay that 50 gold?
Yeah.
Not
Volk. Soth can't even promote in this game.
Yeah, no, he just locked at 20.
Yeah. Also, I'm pretty sure if you transfer him, like do the transfer thing for him to Radiant Dawn, he ends up worse. Like if you use him.
Yeah, you have to get him to level 20, and then even then it's kind of a coin toss.
Yeah.
it's bad.
Alright, so let me tell you about possibly my least favorite Fire Emblem character.
Whoa. From your favorite game?
Yes.
How could this be?
I know, right? Okay, so Makarov, I think, is the Fire Emblem character that I have the most disdain for just as a living thing. Like, you can show me any shitty, badly written Fates character, and I'm like, whatever. You're not a net negative upon the whole of society. I mean, maybe Perry is, but Perry's at least funny.
Shut the fuck up. Makarov
is scum.
He is. I mean, he's just a kind of worthless piece of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, least favorite. I mean, that's weird. Like, he's just kind of a scummy guy.
I don't know. Like, have you ever seen any of his supports?
No, no, I have actually. That's a weird. That's another weird thing. It's like a lot of support in this game threw me off in that like a lot of characters feel like they're missing supports with people you would think they would have supports with.
Yeah, they go with pretty weird choices.
Yeah, they always go for the like I Can Miss doesn't have a support, so I can
right. Soren only has 2, and one of them is with Stefan, who's like impossible to find.
Yeah, Stefan, I finally got him this run. I wanted to see that support, but I haven't. I'm gonna look it up later. But yeah, there's a lot of weird supports that you don't think would be with like I don't think any of the brothers have any supports together. The green haired bros.
Yeah, like one of the supports that Makarov has with Astrid is some of the most infuriating shit I've ever seen in a video game. Like, so basically what happens is Astrid, I think, is like giving money to these homeless people or whatever, and Makarov gets mad at her and is like, why are you giving money to these people when you could be giving it to your allies? And then, I'm not kidding, everything I say in this is true and not exaggerated. Wow. And then in the B support, I think he's like, I need money, and Astrid is like, oh, you can have this, or like this necklace or whatever. I don't think she even gives it to him. Makarov's just like, that's a nice necklace. Like, maybe I could get some money for it. And Astrid's like, oh, okay, here you go. And then in the A support, he comes back and returns it to her, not because he has learned a lesson, but because Marcia yelled at him. And if Marcia is dead, Ike is the one who yells at him. And it's like, you have this perfect opportunity for this fucking guy to maybe learn the error of his ways and be like, yeah, I thought about it and I felt bad. But he didn't learn a lesson, he got yelled at.
Oh, silly old Makarov. Oh, he never learned.
He's an alcoholic. But it's like...
Classic Makarov.
It's like, I don't know, like... I don't know if there's some conflict of interest of me being like, Nysala is one of my favorite characters, but Makarov is scum. But I guess like the difference is that Nysala is scum and it adds to some sort of net benefit to his people, whereas Makarov is just a cancer upon the world. Yeah. And not even in a way that's like funny to me.
Yeah, and have you seen him? I mean, he looks ridiculous. Let's be real here, man.
Yeah, he's
the orange armor with the pink fucking
he's such a
hair.
goofy looking guy.
He makes fucking Geoffrey look like he has a fucking good fashion sense. Like that's saying something. Geoffrey does not know what the fucking fashion is. Like green armor on his blue, like light green armor. Yeah, Makarov looks kind of goofy.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's kind of a shitty guy. I was never interested in really seeing more of his stuff.
Yeah.
If him and Marcia had a fucking support conversation, I probably would have checked it out.
Yeah, maybe something. Brother and sister could support each other.
No, that's weird.
He also has one with Har, of all people.
Does Har... Oh, jeez. How's that one?
I had a fucking dream last night that Har was in.
Was he sleeping?
No, kinda. I mean, he was lazing about. The dream, I was like back in middle school, and I was forced to take this class where you learned how to make things rhyme, and Har was just there.
Was he just off of the screen? You couldn't get to him?
I mean, he was like in the chair next to me. I mean, it was in the middle of class, so we couldn't talk.
Did his name help you rhyme something?
I don't think so. I think he was just there. He was just like background, like decoration.
It's like the most nonsensical dream.
Yeah, I know.
It's the most nothing dream ever. What about let's go down the Cavalier train. What's the axe guy?
Sharon?
That wants to he's got his forever rival of
Oscar, who doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
See, I didn't use Karen my first playthrough, but the second time around I did it. He's really good. He's like having another Titania around.
Yeah, I mean, his skill, like, gamble is worthless on him, but he is, he turned out, he always turns out pretty decent for me. And Axe Cavaliers are really cool to me, because you barely get to see any.
Yeah.
They're in this game, and they are in Genealogy.
You know what's my favorite are like the armored knights with the swords. I just find those to be so funny for some reason.
Yeah, I love the general when they use a sword. Stones. Because normally they fling their weapon on a chain and pull it back with the sword. They have to slowly walk over.
Yeah, just whack them.
Fucking stupid. The Tellius games, though, I gotta say, are the one games where I'm very quick to turn off animations. One, knights, they move so goddamn slow. You ever watch a knight fight a knight?
Oh yeah,
it's awful. I just get up and get a drink and come back, and they're still whacking each other.
Yeah.
And Path of Radiance has this like a weird. I don't like the UI in like battles because there is none.
Right.
I always like when you can see like the attack and hit stuff when your enemies are fighting, which is why I keep animations on so I can be like, okay, this is what this is. All right, he took a 1% crit. That sucks.
Yeah.
But in Path of Radiance, you don't know. You're just
it's just the animation.
Devden. I mean, Devden.
Yes, absolutely. what a weird fucking character. Like,
yeah. So his recruitment, you have to talk to him with basically a child.
Yeah.
Any child person, he's like, oh, you shouldn't be on the battlefield.
Yeah.
What a shame.
I don't know if I just blinked and missed something, but he never really alludes to like that being the solution to getting him.
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't say anything. He's complete. You could accidentally kill him because he's just like a halberd. With like his armor is orange instead of red, but you can very easily miss him.
Yeah, like I missed him my first playthrough just because I didn't know how to recruit the guy.
Yeah, because you're like, Ike. Nope. All right. Who do I have on the front lines? Not any fucking children. Yeah, there's a couple instances in Path of Radiance where recruitment for a character is not really stated. Yeah, like
Shenan's is pretty obtuse.
Yeah, and Makarov, I think you get a like dialogue on a chapter or two before Marcy is talking about her brother.
Yeah,
but I don't think he's in the beginning dialogue for a chapter until you until you actually like boot it up, and then I think after a turn or two it tells you. But
yeah, he says something about like being in debt or whatever. Yeah,
and then going to his sister.
Yeah, so that's like not a big stretch of the imagination. Plus, they both have pink hair, so
yeah. And speaking of obtuse recruitments, this is a character I didn't actually even know was in the game. First time I played the game. What's his face? The fucking Swordmaster.
Stefan?
Stefan.
Yes.
The half-breeder.
Branded.
Branded
are an interesting thing of Path of Radiance because they were like not even really mentioned in the story at all.
Yeah, you can go the entire thing.
Not even know they exist, which is really cool because that's like accurate to Tellius society.
Are there any other branded that's like besides the two?
I mean, we got Soren and we got Stefan.
Is that it? What is Stefan like? What is he?
Oh, Petrine. Petrine is branded.
Oh, wait. What else?
Petrine is the rider, the one with the flame lance.
Oh, her!
Yeah.
That's right. The dialogue with fucking
Soren.
Yeah, if you attack her with Soren. Yeah, that's how I figured it out actually.
Yeah.
Or that's how I learned that Soren was branded. Was that conversation, I think. Right? Doesn't she say that?
Mm-hmm. I think she says something like, we're the same, you and I. We're both like the branded.
Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of Petrine, like Path of Radiance has a really good cast of villains.
Yeah. I mean, without just going right into Ash Nerd, he's very interesting for a Fire Emblem main villain on a couple notes. But were there other ones you want to talk about for that?
Yeah, sure. I mean, well, we got Petrine, who's obviously really enjoyable. I like her catchphrase where she goes, "Dog's breath."
There's Oliver, of course.
Yes. Oliver. What a wonderful creature.
That guy gets more chapters or parts than I ever thought he would.
Yeah.
And then he makes a comeback.
He does.
I don't know why.
Don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years.
Maybe he won those popularity polls. Maybe he was like a secret fan favorite in Japan.
Yo, when's the next Choose Your Legends, like with Oliver on top?
Is he in Heroes?
Yes, he is in Heroes. Wait, let me show you his fucking one of his sprites. He's really, really fucking good.
Oh my god, he's doing the Piccolo
He is.
He's doing the Piccolo. Dude, if one of the Herons was behind him, that would have been perfect.
Yeah. Just like Raphael.
Well, like, Path of Radiance is really good on like goofy bandits.
Yeah.
In the beginning, the fucking pirates that show up, that are like kind of an optional. It's an optional fight. There's these like stupid pirates that show up.
Yeah.
And they say some really stupid stuff, and he's like an optional fucking boss because the objective is just to like seize the castle.
Yeah.
There's this one villain, I think he's called the Black Knight.
Yeah. Minor antagonist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's an optional fight. Like,
technically, he is. Yeah.
Yeah, you could just not fight him.
Yeah.
Which is probably what I'm gonna do in my current run.
Yeah. Dude, I fought him and I got so fucking lucky. My Ike did 2 Aethers, right? Like, back to back. I just fucked him.
Yeah, my first run, I just like fucking smacked him really hard until he died. Yeah, you don't really learn anything about him in this game.
No, not really. He's kind of just a mystery.
You fucking the cutscene with and Grail where they're fighting, and then he just tosses him his sword.
Yeah.
And Grail's like, no.
Like, I don't believe in the weapon triangle.
Dude, everyone that tries to defy the weapon triangle in cutscenes dies.
Yeah. It's crazy how Grail and Geralt are the same character.
I'm not even a big Grail guy, but he's so much better.
You think so?
Yeah. I think I stand by Geralt's the worst part of Three Houses.
Really?
Yeah.
Why do you hate Geralt so much?
He does nothing. He like his existence makes Violet's existence worse.
What does that mean? What?
Like Violet's so like Violence is like complete ignorance of the world and knowing absolutely nothing would make more sense if Geralt didn't exist. Yeah. But like this just makes me assume that Geralt just took his kid into the wilderness and just like fought for
20 years.
20 to 25 years.
Yeah.
And like that's that, and he's like, the food goes in your mouth.
Yeah, Grail definitely did a little bit better of a job at like making Ike into a human.
Yeah, but I do get the similarities. I mean, they have brown hair, you know.
Brown hair, yellow outfit.
They're both proficient with an axe.
Yeah.
Yep. They both mentor a person that is very
leader of a mercenary group.
That is, yeah, leader of a mercenary group. That's like
dead wife.
Well, every wife of a parent is dead in Fire Emblem.
Pretty much.
Ellawood, Stad's wife is dead. Ellawood's wife is dead in Roy's game. Fucking Hector's wife is dead.
Lord DNA is like contagious.
It's so bad. that may explain the guy in Awakening that's Ike's descendant.
Oh yeah, Priam.
Yeah.
Priam is such a goofy looking fucking guy. I like his face. He just looks so like disheveled.
Typical Awakening design, am I right?
Yeah, got him.
Well, we're talking about Grail.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I mean, Grail is pretty cool. Like, he's gonna like be super dead.
Yeah, obviously.
The moment you boot the game up and he beats Ike's ass. But I like what they did with him for what it was around. Like it felt like he actually ran a mercenary group. Like like a reasonably competent mercenary group that was just very understaffed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Then we got my dude. The fucking Mad King.
Which one? Oh, Ashnard.
Yeah.
So I thought you were talking about...
Not the other one.
The one from Awakening. The Mad King Ashnard. This fucker. He... that's no Wyvern Knight. That's a fucking dragon.
I mean, I guess I just like his philosophy of, like, just survival of the fittest. The thing that's really funny is that he basically has the same, like, mentality as the Laguz Kings. That's just like, yeah, survival of the fittest. The strongest, like, gets to claim the throne.
Only his involves a lot more wars.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's interesting because he is the only real Fire Emblem like main enemy that actual final boss. That's just like doesn't really have any mystical like god powers or like is a dragon. Like he rides a dragon.
Yeah.
But the dragon, but he is not a dragon, and he like the only thing like he gets like power, medallion, whatever, but like that doesn't really change the fact that he's just still just a big guy with a big weapon and a big dragon that he rides on.
Yeah, I think I like the fact that he's not really under the influence of anything except himself.
Yeah, and you really get the vibes throughout the game with the whole medallion stuff. You're like, okay, I'm gonna beat his ass, I'm gonna kill him, and then a big three-handed dragon's gonna pop out of it.
Come out, and then that doesn't happen.
No, it doesn't. Which I really like because they save that for the sequel.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you like that plot point or not, it's really cool that that's kind of foreshadowed. And he's got some hidden lore too that you don't really know about until you dig into it. Blood contracts.
The Blood Pact.
The Blood Pact.
Yeah, we save the Blood Pact for Radiant Dawn, but
okay.
Yeah. God, what a mess. I like his relationship with that one General Bryce, the one with the red hair. And he's just like, sir, like, you need to leave. Like, here comes Crimea. And Ashnar's just like, yeah, I want to fight him.
Yeah. Oh, man. He's got a lot of good battle conversations. Not just, like, with Ike and Mist or whatever, but with, like, all the people.
A lot of people.
Yeah, but he's got it with a lot of people that were, like, involved with Dane's army. And a lot of them is just like, my dad was, like, Jill's like, my dad, I fought for him, blah, 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 blah. It's like, literally, who's that?
Dude, that scene is awesome. I mentioned that in my Jill video. That part is so fucking cool.
I haven't checked it out yet. And same thing with Har. Har was just like, yeah, I was just some nobody soldier, and he's like, who? Get out of here, deserter. Yeah, I think he's got one with like most of the Lagoose Kings.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I remember fucking. Did you see Nazalius?
Nazalia? You mean Nysala? Yes.
Nazalia, the fucking Raven, bitch king. No, sorry. Have you seen that one?
Yes.
Scheming bastard.
Yeah, Ashnard's really good. I think that's most of the characters that I like really wanted to talk about.
We didn't mention our country bumpkins. Our good old country bumpkins.
Country bumpkins.
Yeah, we got old Brom and Neffany.
Brom Neffany.
Yeah, whatever.
I'm Neffany. I don't know nothing about anything.
I like Brom more.
I
mean,
he is kind of thick though.
Yeah, dude. Him and Boyd's work conversation. Boyd just keeps calling him fat. He's like, how do you move with all that fucking jiggling around?
Yeah, I guess to wrap it up, like, for me, Path of Radiance, it really was it was everything working together, It's the characters and the setting and, like, the villains and the themes and the gameplay, of course. It's like, all of it just works really well. And there's really no one particular element I feel like is bad,
Yeah, I feel it handles the entire, like, the entire story about basically, handling a war, and a potential world war.
Oh, yeah.
Continent war. I feel it, like, handles that the best.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty good game.
Yeah.
You should go, everyone should go pick it up.
Yeah, go pick it up at your local GameStop.
For $99.99.
Oh, yeah, if you're lucky. Yeah, next time we'll talk about the mess that is Radiant Dawn.
I love you.
Dude, I kind of love Radiant Dawn, too.
It's so awesome.
If I had two kids, Path of Radiance would be like the good kid, and then Radiant Dawn would be like the not as good kid that I still love.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Dude, but third tier promotions, how can you get
those are pretty sick, though.
Man.